We are the people. We hold the true power. Democracy is not something we inherit and keep forever. Every generation of Americans is entrusted to protect our democracy. We do this together by raising our voices, casting our ballots, courageously standing with neighbors, as we saw in Minneapolis, and by not being silent as we confront this perilous and seemingly unending moment. We must remain confident that our commitment to the cause of democracy will not be in vain. We will remember. Let this be a moment we choose community over isolation, service over indifference, hope over despair, courage over fear, action over silence, and democracy over domination.
Powerful. Let's talk to some people. Somebody will talk to me today.
You mentioned that you take care of your parents. How has Trump and his policies affected you in that area?
Can I swear?
Well, yeah, we'll bleep it out.
Y'all, unfortunately, I could not bleep it out, but I wanted to keep this in because that woman was so incredibly warm and great to talk to, and she told a very wonderful story about what it is like to take care of her aging mother with Alzheimer's and her father calling her to leave MAGA.
Thank you so much for talking to me today. Your sign looks great. Your first sign looks great. Your pupper is cute. That's your son. It was very nice to meet you. Thank you for talking with us today.
Thank you.
County, it's great down the eastern shore, showing up to make clear that we will not accept this kind of government here in America. So I'm Dan Schwartz. I'm from a small place in Talbot County in between Houston and St. Louis. Sorry, it's windy, called Bellevue. And I'm a regular guy. I've got a wife, I've got 2 kids, I've got 3 dogs, and a lot of bills. None of them are getting any cheaper. And I have the honor of speaking to you all here today because I'm running to represent you all in Congress, running to replace our 8-term lousy excuse, do-nothing Congressman Andy Harris. Politicians like Andy Harris who work less than 90 minutes from here at the United States Capitol, but will not show up to meet with his constituents. Politicians who won't protect their constituents from federal overreach and harm. We are all going to have to clean up this mess. Regular people like me, all of you. A party is not supposed to work for the president. Every elected official works for the people that they represent, the people right here, for you all. Andy Harris, Donald Trump, they work for the special interests, for the insurance companies, and for the billionaires. It's time our government works for the people again. And this administration, they've told us a lot of things. They told us they tackled grocery prices, but their tariff prices drove up costs. They told us they'd stop forever wars, but we're spending billions bombing Iran. They told us they were going to go after the worst of the worst, but they're going after people in Easton like Minister Espinal. They told us they were for America first, but they are for whoever pays the most. Please go to my website, congress.com, and sign up to volunteer or donate. Your support of the key Congress in America. Thank you all again for being here.
Let's get him.
All right.
Hi.
How are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
Good.
I'm Casey. I'm doing the YouTube channel for ESI.
Awesome.
Would you mind answering a couple questions?
Yeah, please.
All right. So I think people are frustrated. People are confused.
Yeah.
People are angry. A lot of people are saying that they don't even want to come out and vote anymore.
Yeah.
They feel betrayed. Fire truck. My dad's a firefighter. All right.
First responders are amazing.
Thank you. So what do you say to people that are just like, I don't even care. I'm angry. I don't even want to come out and vote anymore.
Well, when we are scared, we lose the fight before it even starts. And I'm just so inspired seeing so many people who are willing to come out at a scary time. I don't blame anybody for being scared because it's the strategy that this administration is pursuing. They know their policies are not popular with the American people right now. Across the board, whether it's their economic policies, their failure to do anything for working families that they said they're going to do, or the fact that they're dragging us into an illegal war in the Middle East that is going to potentially bankrupt this country. People are showing up because unanimously across the board, these are not popular policy decisions with Democrats or Republicans, and I'm meeting a lot of people from across the political spectrum who are telling me that they've never showed up at protests before, that they've never been involved in political campaigns before, but they feel like they want to help right now. They want to show up, they want to use their voice, and I'm seeing that all over the district, from Ocean City up to Baltimore County. And for our neighbors that are scared when it comes to voting, we gotta bring them to the polls if they need our help. We gotta stand with our neighbors and just make sure that we're staying optimistic and positive.
Absolutely. So I heard you speak a little bit about the healthcare system. Your wife is a nurse
practitioner.
Eastern Shore has a lot of farmers, a lot of watermen as well. Do you have anything to say to them?
Yeah. So it's really important. If we're going to beat Andy Harris, an 8-term incumbent out here in a tough district, we have to build a huge tent of support. And I'm chipping away at Andy's traditional base of support, the farmers, the watermen, who at this point, he will not even show up and meet with. My farmer, John, he's a 68-year-old soybean farmer. He said, Dan, I'm a conservative guy, but last summer I couldn't even get a crop in the ground. Mm-hmm. It was due to the supply chains being so messed up. His biggest tractor was broken. He couldn't afford to fix it at the time. Fertilizer costs were going crazy due to the tariffs and the retaliatory tariffs. He told me he actually laid out almost 6 figures for a new grain masher that was supposed to be covered by farm credit, and then those funds were frozen arbitrarily by the Trump administration, supported by our Congressman Andy Harris. And John actually got a meeting on Congressman Harris's calendar. He went to Washington, D.C., he sat down in his office, he brought a couple other farmers with him. They watched and waited as lobbyists in suits and ties were welcomed in instead of them, and after about 2 hours they were told, we're sorry, Congressman Harris is too busy to meet with you today, and they were sent home without even being able to talk about the difficulty of the tariff policies, the difficulty that's creating for them on their small family farms. So I'm finding through engaging with farmers, I've built a group of farmers and watermen in addition to a veterans and healthcare group that I have, and through engaging with them, I'm realizing there are a lot of issues that we can all agree on. Farmers, watermen, environmentalists who care about the health of the Chesapeake Bay. For example, our crop cover program, decimated by the Trump administration, it helps farmers turn over their crops, it helps the watermen keep sediment off the oyster beds, and it prevents us from having to dredge out the Baltimore shipping channels every couple of years. So that's just one example. There's a lot of others. We got to make sure that the regulations that these farmers all have to follow are tailored to be placing the greatest burden on the biggest polluters instead of the small family farms like my neighbor John's.
Absolutely. Okay, one last question for you. If somebody is not able to come out and attend a protest in person, what are some ways that people can help from home?
Yeah, great question. So if you go to my website, schwartzforcongress.com, there's an option to sign up for more information, and you can get on my email list. And follow what's happening with the campaign, and please share that information with your friends and family here in Maryland and all over the country. And you can also sign up to volunteer for my campaign. I'm going to need people knocking on doors up and down the district in all 11 counties. We got about almost 800,000 people in this district. It's a huge district. I need all the help I can get when it comes to getting out, listening to our neighbors, talking to our neighbors. If you're not a door knocker, you can make phone calls, you can write postcards. There's so much that we can do to get the word out to beat our 8-term incumbent who will not even show up here.
Absolutely. Okay, one last time, What is your website?
It is schwartzforcongress.com. I've also got a link tree. There's lots of articles, podcasts, all sorts of resources about the campaign. Please also follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Blue Sky, X, Reddit, you name it, YouTube. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Absolutely. Thank you so much.
Really appreciate it.
It's not only important to come out to these marches, but what's more important to make actual change is to vote in the primaries and then again in November. People say, well, my one vote doesn't matter, but that is not true. Each and every vote matters, especially in really close elections.
Oh, but there was an election race somewhere, and it came down to one single vote. Every vote matters. What would you have to say to somebody who might be a little hesitant to come out to vote?
Just do it.
Just do it!
What brought you guys out to this protest today? I'll start with you.
We want to do our little part in helping democracy and for people to be able to not be run over by a government.
I just want to stand up for my communities and make, our country aware of what's happening.
What is the most important policy to you that motivated you to come out today?
For me, it's not a policy. It's about being kind and being a government for the people and listening to everybody and not being divided.
That's beautiful.
I'm here, top priority is immigration. I think what DHS is doing right now is horrendous. There are ways to go about immigration, there are ways not to, and what's going on right now, you're ripping families apart, you're treating people poorly, you're putting people in facilities that are dirty, not sanitary, you're not feeding them well, it's inhumane.
No, I'm just here because I want everybody else to know that there are a lot of people who do not support this government and that we need to get rid of this person who is ruining our democracy and ruining our country, quite frankly.
I think government is supposed to move slowly in the fact that they're supposed to try to get it right, they're supposed to compromise. Nobody's ever going to get everything that they want. We really have to adhere to the Constitution, not to whatever our whim is of what we want. Because it's much more global than that. It's not just this little small microcosm. It's supposed to go slowly. Government is supposed to be for the people. It's not a business. It's not supposed to be run by a business. It's supposed to help people. What did you say?
Not supposed to make a profit.
Yes.
Nope. Yes, the government is not supposed to make a profit.
They're trillions, even more so. They're trillions in debt.
And the slash and burn always hurts part of the community, which is not what we want.
Yes, I was just thinking, slow down, make sure we're thinking, how does this decision affect everyone in America, everyone in the world?
Absolutely. And usually the people that are on the margins are getting hurt the worst. We tell them to pull themselves up by their bootstraps and we take the bootstrap away.
Yes.
We don't give them the tools to get out of poverty. We're just continuously pushing them lower and lower. And, it's not right.
How would you combat somebody who says, well, that's not fair, nobody helped me and I'm fine?
Tell them to pull up.
Disagree.
I would tell them to pull up the video.
A lot of people helped me.
Yeah.
And they just don't realize it.
The biggest question is, how did they choose the person they were born to? How did they choose that? How did they not get the crack-addicted mother in D.C., but they got the rich parent who lives in the mansion on the water? How did they choose that? Or even the kid who, not even kid, right? Or just get the two parents that cared enough to take care of them. How did they choose that? That's what I would say.
You don't have to be born rich to be privileged. You can be, I hate to say it, but white is privilege. And that's, as Mia says, how do you choose that? No, you don't. And how do you choose the opposite? You don't. You just get given what you're given.
Irish, Italian were on the fringes originally, and then they assimilated to whiteness to gain privilege.
So what would you say to somebody at home watching this they don't know how to come out, they don't know how to use their privilege, or maybe they're scared to use their privilege, maybe they don't have the support of friends and family, they're not empowered, they're not encouraged to use their voice. What are some ways that maybe some people wouldn't think about that could help this cause, help the protest, help the movement?
I think educating yourself first, baseline. If you're afraid to come out, you're nervous to come out, you don't have support, just know what you need to know first. If you educate yourself on the policy, on global policy, on what different politicians are doing, your local politicians, what are your local politicians doing? That's where you start. And then you know the things and you build the confidence to find the community that agrees with you.
Listening to the perspectives that might be different than your own is really important. Listening just for understanding, maybe not agreement, but understanding. But the other thing is to use your money. You know, we vote with our money in this country.
Yes, absolutely. A financial protest.
You can, dedicate your money to your local community and not be supporting the big industry that is part of the problem right now. So if you're afraid to come to a protest, understandable, but you can make choices in our culture that are better for your community in the way that you use your money.
Yes. Do you have an example of one way that you personally or somebody that you know of, how they're financially protesting?
Well, you can avoid some of the corporations that are really doing damage, that are supporting the government that is taking advantage of its people. You can not support those organizations. You can shop locally. You have local mom and pop shops. Here on the shore, we have a farmer's market that's very local. You can buy most of your food there.
Yes, I think we have 3 farmers markets that I know of. There's Kent Island at Colt Classic, Centerville is in Town Center, and Chestertown in the Water Fountain Park.
Yep. Fabulous.
Yes.
Farmers markets.
Yes.
And very local.
Guys, well, thank you so much for stopping with me. I know we kind of lost the march a little bit. Yeah. Does anybody have any closing remarks? Anything else that they would like to say today?
Just thanks for being out here.